One of the most underrated things a content creator can do to make more money is network. But with content creation being such a lonely career, it can be hard to figure out how. By following these 3 key steps, I've been able to land 5- and 6-figure brand deals with massive North American brands. And if you clicked on this video, you want to learn how to do just that. So make sure you watch till the end, because not only am I sharing my 3 key steps to help boost your chances of landing brand deals and make more money, but I'm also sharing how one conversation led to my largest brand deal ever of $40,000. Let's go. Step 1, take full advantage of unpaid PR events that you're invited to. The biggest mistake that I see content creators and influencers make when they're invited to PR events is 1, they don't go because they're not getting paid to go, and 2, they go, but then they end up just snapping a bunch of pics to post on their social media, eat a few bites, and then leave. This is a huge lost opportunity, and I'm gonna tell you why. PR events are hosted by marketing agencies, which means they're filled with employees of that agency. But these aren't just any employees. Many of them are account managers. An account manager is the middle person between you and the brand, and they manage multiple different brands and their influencer campaigns. They are the ones that you want to impress because they are the ones that bring you forward to the brand. And so how do you impress them? You spark a conversation and you do 2 things. You pitch yourself and you listen. Think of this as your elevator pitch. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? And what are your goals with your content creation? For me, I am a STEM content creator. I love creating content for parents and children in the space of science, technology, engineering, and math. And my goal is to make science more accessible in the home for families. The second point is listening, and not just any kind of listening. This is effective listening, because this is going to be key for when you reach out to that account manager after the event. Because yes, you will be reaching out to them. You want to try and take 2 concrete points away from any conversation, and that is 1 personal point and 1 business related point. So for example, last fall, I was invited to a PR event for a huge global fast food brand. And while I was there, I ran into the account manager who happened to invite me to that event. So I sparked a conversation with him. I told him about all of the holiday content plans that I had leading up to Christmas. And then I also asked him how things were going on his end with the brand. I followed up with him based on the conversation that we had over email a few days prior, which led him to pitching me to that brand for a holiday campaign. And this brand deal ended up being $5K, all from 1 conversation. But on to step 2, ask more and do less. There are always opportunities to negotiate with a brand. Brands want to get the most work done for the smallest amount of budget because they want to be efficient with their money. Whereas as content creators, you need to kind of think of it as you want to do the least amount of work for the most amount of money. And so it's this teeter-totter of trying to find a healthy balance between the 2. And you do this through negotiating. If a brand reaches out to you and they're telling you what their budget is right off the bat, they are trying to bait you. They are intentionally pitching you low because they know 1 of 2 things are gonna happen. 1, you're gonna take the bait and they're going to get you for a deal price. Or 2, you're gonna come at them and negotiate for a higher price. And so they wanna save some budget there for that potential negotiation. Yes, sometimes brands won't have any wiggle room. And yes, sometimes they will come at you with a very small budget. And in that case, if it doesn't seem worth it to you for how much time it's going to take to create the content, then you simply just say no. But if a brand reaches out to you and they want to know what your rates are, the general rule of thumb is that if you pitch them a number and they say yes to that number right away, you most likely pitch them a little too low. But if you pitch them a number and they come back with a little resistance and they want you to lower that number slightly or reduce the number of deliverables that they're asking you to complete, then you most likely hit the nail on the head and you pitch the right number. In the end, everyone is happy because the brand is getting what they feel like a deal, but you are also getting paid what you feel you are worth. And so always negotiate. For example, a very large brand reached out to me a couple of years ago for a campaign, and they pitched me a ridiculously small number. I came back with my rate, which was roughly 5 times what they pitched me at the time, and they said yes with no hesitation, which leads me to believe now that I probably still could have gotten a little bit more out of it. But at the time I was like, wow, I'm getting 5 times more than what you originally pitched me. And step 3, network with friends and family in your community. You never know who you know knows someone else. And so I am inviting you to engage in conversations with your network. Say you get invited to your friend's birthday and they have other family and friends there. You spark a conversation with somebody you've never met. Always tell them what you do. Always. I am telling you that always will come back to you. People are more likely to work with people that they know or people that they are referred to. And so I'm going to give you 2 examples here. 1, On the side, I teach yoga at a local yoga studio. I am friendly to all of my students, and I always try and make an effort to learn about them and spark conversations. Well, one of these conversations at the time I didn't know was with somebody who worked for a marketing agency. And she just came to me a couple weeks ago and told me how she's now moved to a new startup agency and they're looking for new influencers to work with. And she wanted to help me make money. And so we exchanged emails, and I have a good feeling that this will lead to something. But example number 2 is probably what you've been waiting for. How did I get that massive $40,000 deal? A couple of years ago, a large household brand reached out to me to be the spokesperson of a product release in Canada. Now, this brand falls under the umbrella of a larger brand that houses all of these smaller home care brands. They were asking for a lot. And so I put my big girl pants on and I pitched them big. And because I'm trying to be as transparent with you, I'm gonna tell you I pitched them $50,000 for what they were asking for. When I tell you I was so scared to hit send on that email, a couple weeks later, they came back to me and told me that their budget was actually slightly less. It was $30,000, and if I would be comfortable meeting in the middle at $40,000. I was like, excuse me? I still remember, I was at a grocery store. I was inside No Frills, which is like a budget grocery store. And I stopped in my tracks. I'm like, oh my God, they wanna work with me. But you're probably wondering, how did that happen? At the time, I didn't know that one of the VPs of that bigger parent company was friends with my husband's colleague. Okay, and I wanna back it up because this colleague I had met many, many years ago when he worked at this company. He no longer works there. And we sat together at a Christmas dinner and I told her about what I was doing for work and what my dreams were and what my goals were. And so basically, that head VP, she saw that this other girl was following me on social media. And so she reached out to her to do a personal background check to really get the tea on who I am and what I stand for. And because I left such a good impression on my husband's employee, she of course pitched me really well to her friend who was the VP, which to this day, I believe that is one of the reasons I got that deal. It was that personal connection and that person on the other side vouching for you. And that's why I say, be nice to everyone, always spark conversations, and just tell people who you are and what you do. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, again, I would love if you smashed the like button, subscribe to my channel. I have so much more creator industry type of content like this coming up. And if you have any questions about your own creator journey, please drop it in the comments. Until next time, keep shining.